Welcome back to the Forensics Unplugged or Forensics Detailing channel, whichever one this goes out on. Today we're around the other side of my car. So polishing it. What are we doing? What's the method? Let's just show you all of the tooling that we've got out. And I'm really nice and organised now. I love it when I've got organised. And having this whole long shelf running along the side of the car with loads of shelf space. Just a little polisher here. Got my little inspection light there. I should really wield the big one round and turn the big lights off. But it's going to mess the video up, but I will do that. Starting on the right hand side, I just have some O&R and a cloth that I'm using with the O&R just to wipe over the surfaces before polishing, just to pick up, dampen the cloth, one little spritz on the panel, just pick up any dust that's on the panel. Garage is not the best, it's not a perfect workshop environment, and dust can fall out on top of the car, and that's happened. That's a real risk. So that's why we have that there. Little bucket to put my dirty cloths after I've done a few, passes of wiping down polish with each side. Then I just put them there, and I've got a nice clean pile. All the work surfaces are wiped down so there's no grit and dust on them, which is important. These are like little mini magnets, microfiber. Any dust that's floating around in the air, they'll go pulled into the microfiber cloth. Some products that we're using, I'm just doing a very fine cut with soft pads. I'm not looking to, I'm looking to reduce or minimise the amount of clear coat we remove from the car. And probably going to be just taking off less than a micron here and just taking away the fine swirls that have been put in by the clay bar marring. The M302 fine cut product was not getting enough of them out for me on this very hard BMW paint, which doesn't surprise me. But I will switch over to the M302 when I do the bonnet, because it's a slightly softer paint, and I might even use the red flex pads. Just go very soft over that paint. There's a tiny difference, but it does make a difference. I could get away with doing that. It wouldn't make much difference, actually. It wouldn't matter. But I'm going to do the M3 because I know I've polished this paint before, so I know it's more suitable. So there's my abrasives. And once I'm finished, once I've got the paint, I'm trying to just do one pass and make sure I'm happy. I'm not trying to take out every single scratch mark out of this car. It's 4 years old. There's some scratch marks in there that you would be dicing with the devil if you try and take them out. And I'm just looking to get it to a good level, nice and glossy, and no swirls really, no loads of swirls. Just the odd mark, whatever percentage of correction you want to call it. One pass. If I wipe down and I see a little couple of patches of swirls that they're in the corners or the edge, then I might just work that little section again quickly to try and get it to a reasonable standard. I will wipe off the polishes, and then I'll do a quick wipe down with IPA just to degrease, and then I'm applying silica primer polishes. I think they're slightly best used just on the machine. So got a separate pad for them because I don't want to contaminate the pad with the primer polish. So I'm just using a soft white Hex Logic, and I'll just quickly apply the polish. I'll literally till it starts to thin out, and then buff it off. Buff it really well under light to make sure you haven't got any patches of it, and just leave it. And then the whole car will be polished and primered when I eventually finish. It's taking me quite a long time, but I could do this in a day. I think if I add up all the time that I spent on this car this time around, it will probably be about 8 hours polishing, I guess, something like that. So not massive, not as many as I've done before, with certain things. And we've talked about this before, how long is the correct amount of time to spend on a car. There is no such thing as the correct amount of time. If you've got 4 hours to throw at it, throw 4 hours at it. You've got 4 days, throw 4 days. You've got 4 years, throw 4 years. You might want to do it a bit quicker. So I'm using the last of my Geon primer, which is about to run out. I've probably got enough to do the entire car. I'm just interested in the difference between these two products. They both seem to give you a slick finish. What is she doing out there? What is she up to? Anyway, once that's all done, I'm going to apply, Geon's skin on its own, with the caveat that I'm going to test it on a test panel first to make sure it's legit. I might ping Geon an email. Their customer service is really good. Just say, is it okay to use Geon primer and Geon skin? I'm sure they're going to say it's recommended that you use 2 coats of moss before primer, but I don't want to do that. I don't want a 2 or 3 year coating on my car. Nothing wrong with that. Just my personal oddities. What else? Okay, in terms of machine polishers, I'm using the XCE, the force rotation, comboed up with the PXE, the little mini. Obviously swapping over the little pads like I've discussed in other videos. With this, when I need to hit really intricate areas, I did start off using the XFE comboed with that. I just prefer the XCE. I've talked about it many times. Force rotation versus free spinning. What do you prefer? I prefer the force rotation. Just don't find any reason why. The whole push me pull you thing. I'm so used to the force rotation now. Just don't find that an issue. Just prefer it. That's it. Some people don't. Some people prefer the free spinning. So even when I switch over to the little PXE to do little intricate areas, I suddenly become mindful of the stall, and I find myself, even though you shouldn't be over mindful of it, I am always like mindful of it, and well, I'm stalling now, change the angle and all that sort of stuff. I don't know, I just almost wish there was a little force rotation mini as well, but I don't think it would work as well. Next thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to start polishing. Another interesting topic of discussion is how you go about tackling this. Well, really, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm going to polish this top section here, this curve, with the PXE, because it's just more appropriate. The big machine can't get into that gap, as I might have mentioned in another video. It's quite a big gap. The XFE will be alright, but it's just more suitable to polish with that little polisher. And I'll be able to do a really nice job. It's the perfect size, a 75mm pad, to polish out this top section. I'll be able to get a bit tighter under this wing, and just do a better job. Even with this section here, I'm just thinking, so it's going to be, oh man, that'll do it. Yeah, it's going to be flying around all over the place, but that'll be fine. The subject of tape, guys, tape. I'm using SP80 tape that Inram from Into Detailing sells, and it's a decent price. I think it's like £3 a roll, something like that. It's low tack tape. I'm not, I said in another video, I don't go mad with the tape, but there's no right or wrong with this. I see people who I respect using a lot of tape, and I see people that I respect that don't use a lot of tape. I see people I respect that use no tape or virtually no tape. I don't use that much. Maybe it's a laziness thing. But for example, here I've just whacked one tape across there to stop cramming polish in there, in that bit. I don't want any polish to go anywhere near those rubbers. Here I'm just protecting the rubbers. I wasn't going to bother putting tape on there because I can polish that without hitting those rubbers, but I just thought, I'll just do it. It'll take a second. I mean, you could put a bit of tape there. I just should probably put a little bit of tape there. That'd be sensible, but I'm not going to bother. It's to protect the car, and it's it's just to make everything tidier. That's it. And then you look at the rest of the panel. I can steer well clear away from those rubbers on the underside, so I'm not too worried about the underside. And I just don't need any more tape. I put some around that badge because you want to get nice and tight to the badge without putting all the polish onto the adhesive and underneath the edge of the badge, so that's important. When I'm doing the roof, you could argue you should tape over there, but again, it's recessed below the line, so as long as I'm careful, I'll stay away from that. You do not want polish on black rubber. That's one area where you probably might want to be careful. So there's something on tape. Do not leave tape on the car for too long. That's really important. If I put tape, even this low tack tape on test panels and take it outside and it gets wet, it can stick onto the panel after about 48 hours maybe of getting wet, and it will be a nightmare to get off, even if it's low tack. Doesn't matter if it's SP80 or Maguire's or 3M tape, sorry, or any tape, doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. It will stick down. Also, I've used tape on the flat test panels that I've got before. Used it where the test panels have stayed inside and the tape's been on the test panels, and probably after about 3 or 4 days I've taken the tape off and I can see where the sticky glue has etched this soft clear coat on my test panels. I've seen that, and it's not you can't remove it, you need to polish it out. Probably longer than 3 or 4 days. My test panels have got very soft clear coat on them. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I've seen it happen on the cars when it dries and it sticks down and it's got wet on the car test panels. So you just need to be careful leaving this tape on the car. And I'm not even comfortable leaving tape on there overnight on this car, just as a precaution. Let me know in the comments what you think about that, if you think that's a load of old rubbish. But I've seen it, so it's not a complete load of old rubbish. Only 99% BS. Next thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to take our polisher and do a live set. I've cleaned out both these pads just with the brush, so we're ready to rock and roll. And I'll show you first using the lovely PXE to do this section here, and then I'll do a set with the XFE below it. So the XFE will be doing most of this big panel, and the PXE will be doing most of the top panel. And we'll be, unlike you will often see on YouTube, we're just going to film this with no sort of cuts, no zooms, no bits where it looks like the old swan analogy where I'm skating, dancing on ice in harmony with the paint. No, polishing paint can be a bit messy. Things can happen, the machine can wobble around, can throw things around, splatter product around. You can have a camera that you're trying to set up for the shot that I didn't factor in. Let's put this here. Is that looking good? Just bear with me. Got to touch the viewfinder. Yeah, that's a good, pretty decent shot, isn't it? There we go. So you can see where I'm going to be polishing there. So let's get stuck in. Oh, excuse me. That's a little, tiny little chip in the paint there, like a pin size stone chip. This is quite a lot of polish, but be alright, be alright. Put some down there. Okay, so I can have one criticism of the PXE is I don't like dropping to speed 1. You've got to press the button about 4 times and crank it back up to get back up to speed 4. So I tend to just quickly spread it on speed 3, which is what it will start at speed 3 unless you drop down to 2 or 1. It will never start on speed 4 because it's a bit too abrupt, you know. So let's just spread on speed 3. And crank up to speed 4. It's a nice tool to control, isn't it? There we go. So easy to manage this tool. I'm just leaning a little bit just to get that top edge. Now I'm going to put it flatter on the panel. So easy to control. You do this with one hand. Bit stall there. probably was a good shout to take that up. You can't see the tool, can you? The switch hands, you can see it. And that's it, guys. So easy, isn't it? There's nothing difficult about this at all, really. It's just a set piece. So now we're just removing the polish. Gentle circles, like I said. Be careful with this tape sticking around. You can sometimes, if you're trying to get in here, just curl it up into a little pad, just put it down there. Just work that in a little circle. Just go along there just to get that top stuff off. And we flip over. You've got to really have good light when you're taking off polish as well. Don't need that tape on the top. Let's just take that off. Take that, just so I know where I polished up to. And just make sure there's no polish in there. We'll get under these door handles in a bit, just by hand. And we're going to do an IPA wipe down on here afterwards. There's a little bit of polish over there, never mind. Let's get you a nice reflection. So you can see this paint's good on this side, or this area here where I'm polishing. That's done really nicely. I mean, I'm not going to polish this again, even if I find a swirl, because that's good enough for me. I know, you typically know straight away, don't you? That's great. Well, I should need to do an IPA wipe down inspection, but if I can't see anything now, I'm not going to be doing that again. So let's move on and do a bigger section with the XCE. I can't see what you can see, but hopefully now you've got a good view of that area, yeah? Lid on. We ain't got too much of this left. I have to get through my F5 after this. It's F6, H9 and M3. Once I've got through my M2, M5 and H8, sorry, M2, F5, H8, I will go back to, you know, M3, F6 and H9, the newer ones. I'll pay the money because I think they're good. As with all these Koch abrasives, they are the dog's Balearics. So we could do that whole section actually. We could do, it's a little bit big. If I had the 6-inch pad, I'd do that whole section. We're breaking it up into two is a bit of a nightmare. So what I'll probably do, I'll polish up to there, like this. A bit of a rectangle. It'll do. Don't have to be square. You notice you always put more polish down where you start. So sometimes you can do one dab there and one dab down there to start with, then back to the start. You'll just get better, but it doesn't really matter, does it? That's why I suppose you put it on speed 1. So we're just going to work this over the film. The cool thing about this XFE as well, it won't sling anything, guys, so I can start it up off the panel. I'm not going to splatter. So there we go. Okay, we'll crank up now. Speed 5.5. Felt like long enough to stop. Felt like the right time to quit, even though the abrasive, no dusting at all, and there won't be any dusting, which is important for me. A lot of guys will mask up when they're polishing. The more sets I do, especially on these old pads, there is dust flying around even if I can't see it, and you don't really want to be hunking in dust. But when you're only polishing every now and then, it's less of an issue if you're doing it every single day. But I might want to look at putting the mask on. Let's buff this off. So I've got some of the old IPA mix here. It's been good, this little pump sprayer. It's a little Halford's jobby. It's been fine. So probably just use the Pixie to polish that out. A little bit of polish under the handle and Pixie under there, XFE there. Probably break that down to 2 and repeat that process, and then that panel's done. I'll inspect, turn the torch on there and have a look at the condition of that. I'm sure it'll be fine. That's it, guys. I think you get the idea. So if you've got any questions about machine polishing, it's not difficult. It's like anything though, isn't it? It's like plastering a wall. If you go and plaster a wall and you've never done it before, the amount of things that can go wrong and will go wrong are probably quite large. You know, from mixing up the plaster wrong, from preparation, from laying it out. You know, if you just went and did it, it would all go wrong. If you researched it and then went and did it, your results might be quite better. Cleaning a car polishing a car isn't as difficult as plastering a wall. It's just a set piece. But the thing with this is that it's down to personal standards, isn't it? Because you can just polish it, just go over, bang, 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 done, done, done. Or you can take your time and really inspect and sort of ask yourself the question, you know, am I going to spend a little bit extra to just work that bit a bit more, work these edges a bit more? Am I going to do another set? You know, and it's all a balancing act of time against quality, isn't it? And generally, the more time you put in, the higher quality. But it's getting that set piece. And I think, you know, just being organised with all your stuff, having it all laid out, having it to hand, having no time pressures, I think just kind of makes it nice and relaxing and easy to do. And I enjoy it. And my standards are dropping. My standards are dropping, really, because I just don't. Well, anyway, I've talked about that before. It's up to you what you want to do. This car will look good. Trust me, it will look great. But it's a car that I intend to blast around in and use, and I'm not worried about it picking up dinks and swirls and stuff like that. Just love the car. It's a driving car. You know, if it was a £200,000 Aston Martin or Ferrari, you know, I'd be a lot more cautious about it. But it's a 20 grand 1 Series BMW with a big engine, so detailing shouldn't ruin my enjoyment of the car. It should enhance it. I say that a lot on the channel, just because I think there's been times in my life where I allow the condition of the car to bug me if it's not quite where I want, and I don't think that's a good place to be. And I'm not in that place now, so that's good. So that's it, guys. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. It's quite a long video, this one. And this may be the only video you have seen multiple sets of polishing and wiping down and everything just done live on the hoof. Because like I say, it isn't always pretty polishing, but those sets look pretty. There's not much went wrong there, you know. There's not much that can go wrong. Anyway, that's enough. Thank you, guys. Take care. Great to talk to you as always, and thank you for all the people that have subscribed and supported and commented on the channel and that. It means a lot, and hopefully the lockdown there's an end in sight, isn't there? And that will mean that things can hopefully get one step closer to normal, which is a great thing for everyone. So see you soon. Bye for now.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when